It's Tuesday, the 11th of April, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
Sean, we have 5 stories to race through in 5 minutes, so let's get into it. Story number 1, technology stocks fell again yesterday. They've really become the pariahs of the market. It's a long way from last year.
Absolutely. The tech stocks this year have really had a tough time. Accounting software group Xero is down 31% this year. Domains off 34%. REA, also an online property group's down 26%. WiseTech Global, everyone loved that. It's off 20% this year. In fact, the overall technology index is down 19% this year while the market is broadly flat. Why? Interest rates are going up. That works against tech companies. Also, many online stocks ran really hard last year and now have further to fall. We're no longer in lockdown, so people are expected to spend their money on experiences and services. That doesn't help the tech companies either. Also, as the economy picks up, cyclical stocks, they're the ones that do better when times are good, should outperform. Having said all that, Aussie tech stocks seem to be doing worse than other places, like Apple's off 7% on Wall Street, Alphabet, parent of Google's off 8%, Microsoft's down 11%. Ours are down much more. Of course, there are some exceptions. Meta, owner of Facebook, is down 34%. Even the online retailers are doing really poorly. Kogan.com, Adore Beauty, Temple & Webster. Now's the time to buy? Don't know. Go and see a financial advisor about that one. But certainly the tech sector has been very beaten up.
Yeah, sure has. All right, story number 2 today, Sean. And yesterday was, of course, day 1 of the election campaign. And it wasn't a great start for opposition leader Anthony Albanese, who didn't know the unemployment rate or the official cash rate.
Yes, it was pretty embarrassing for him. And of course, the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, and his team jumped on it immediately. Their whole campaign is based around a safe pair of hands. Albanese's gaffe really plays into that, because they could play it up. And then by the end of the day, Albanese said, look, it was a mistake and I'm going to own that. He tried to make a virtue out of the fact that he was owning it. But I think end of day 1, 1-0 to Morrison.
All right, story number 3, Sean, and Qantas CEO Alan Joyce certainly has a reputation for speaking his mind. He's certainly very vocal. Whenever he has something to say, he won't hold back, and he's now calling on governments to ease the 7-day isolation period for close contacts for all workers.
That's right. He said airports are experiencing absenteeism rates of 20% and on some days 50%. Hence all the long queues we're seeing. Now, the New South Wales government over the weekend added airport workers to the list of essential workers, allowing them to remain on site even if they are close contacts. Making things worse at airports, about 30% of people turning up still haven't had their COVID screening. Absenteeism is a bit of a burning issue at the moment. An analysis of MYOB payroll data shows that absenteeism rates are close to 33% higher than long-term averages, and in New South Wales, that number's 42%.
Sean, story number 4 today. I don't reckon there has been an episode of the Fast Five at any point over about the last 2 or 3 weeks that hasn't mentioned the Star. The inquiry into whether the Star Casino is fit to hold a gaming license in New South Wales continued yesterday, and we all know there was another revelation. What was it?
Well, the Star's Group General Counsel said the group is still yet to finalise the decision on whether Sun City junket boss Alvin Chow can be considered a business associate of good repute. That's notwithstanding Mr. Chow's arrest last November and plenty of evidence that he has alleged criminal ties. Now, according to the Financial Review, the inquiry also heard that the Star allowed Sun City to continue running a high-roller gambling business in a secret, unbranded private room at its flagship Sydney casino, even after Chief Executive Matt Beckier had told the market it was ending their relationship.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary. All right, last one, Sean. Story number 5. The Austrian Chancellor was due to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin overnight, the first European leader to do so since the Ukraine invasion began 6 weeks ago.
Yes, the goal of the trip was to promote dialogue between Moscow and Kyiv, though some European countries, which so far have been really united in their opposition to Moscow, might be less than delighted about the meeting. Austria isn't in NATO, but theoretically it's not aligned. The fact that they are reaching out to Moscow has upset some other leaders. Meanwhile, Michael, Ukraine yesterday said it had found more than 1,200 bodies in the Kiev region following the withdrawal of Russian troops. Very, very sad.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 11th of April, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't quite enough for you, if you want a bit more detail, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.